said last night that you had been canceled before. Right?
Oh, yes.
What is the story on prior cancellation? I'm gonna take a picture of this and send it to her.
Boom.
So yeah, I was canceled last year. It was
Nice big lenses.
around it was during the pandemic. I used to produce events for a company. That shall remain nameless.
Are you sure?
Do we want to get canceled again? Let's do it.
No, it shall remain nameless. And I had produced events for them for a while. They were very, I would say, like far left there had been moments through the years that I've worked with them where like things that I make jokes about and stuff, like they'd always kind of had like an issue with me. I remember one time I made a joke about, I was like, because I love comedy and I love Louis C.K. And we were talking at the bar,
Louis C.K.
I love
Louis C.K.
And I was like, oh yeah, I fucking love Louis C.K. I was like, all he did, what? He just jerked off into a plant? Like, all those girls, I could have just left the fucking room. Like, I don't understand. Like, everyone's acting like he's a rapist, but like, he really like didn't do anything that bad.
He asked first.
Like, I know, he asked for permission. And I was also like, just like drunk and like in like this joking tone. And like a few people working for this company were like, I can't believe you just said that. Like they were like appalled.
On the spot?
By me. On the spot, appalled by me. But this isn't why I got canceled. This was years before. And I was like, oh, maybe I should tone my shit down. Because I like make jokes about shit all the time. Like I remember getting into, people got mad at me because I like misgendered them. Used the wrong pronouns, which was an accident. I never meant to do that. That was always an accident.
It doesn't matter.
It's a good thing you're not Canada. Like, you'd be in jail right now.
This one person was literally wearing a dress, long hair, like, and wanted to be called he, him. And I was like, bro, you gotta work with me here. How
give me a break, man.
No, literally, like in a dress, like long hair, like looked presenting feminine, but wanted to be called he, him. Not even they. I was like, so that was before I got canceled. That was like still just something that they were like having issues with me, I guess.
Pre-cancellation.
Wow.
Pre-cancellation. And then last year, it was during the George Floyd thing. I made
rough times for all.
Yes.
Yeah, I made a post that that wasn't really that controversial. Like all I said was that I said, I don't like if we keep this idea that all cops are evil, no good people are going to want to become cops, and we're just perpetuating a bad system. Like what we're doing is like, we can't just say every single cop is evil, because then no good people are going to want to become cops, and then just assholes become cops, and then we're just continuing the fucking problem.
Yes.
And that's what I posted, and that's what got me canceled. People said that was racist, that it was offensive to marginalized liberals, whatever the fuck that means. Said that, and so what happened was there was this girl who I didn't even know she was Asian. I didn't even know. She looked white to me. I'm gonna be honest. But like she commented and was saying that my posts were giving her anxiety and that I needed to stop. And I was like, I need to. No, yeah, it was basically saying like I was like perpetuating microaggressions or whatever, and I was like, this is just my opinion, and I actually have been arrested before, which is true. Like I have been arrested, and I've had horrible experiences with cops. Like I know that there are shit cops out there, but I've also had friends that are cops that are good people. So like I feel like we have to understand that there's a balance, which was all I was fucking saying. And like all of these people attacked me. Then this person said that I was like microaggressioning her or whatever. She and a bunch of her friends went and contacted the company I work for and were like, we're boycotting you guys if you don't.
We're boycotting you.
Yeah, they were all like performers or whatever the fuck. And they were like, we're boycotting you if you don't get rid of her or have her make a public apology.
I've been there.
So the company asked me to make a public apology video. Like I'm fucking like Justin Timberlake or something. Like what? Like I'm not even fucking famous. You want me to make a public apology video? What the that's stupid.
So you said no then.
So you said no.
I said no.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Way to go, girl. Cheers to that.
Well, and then they fired me. So.
That's right, man. It's all right. We've been talking about that for a while. You got to be willing to make sacrifices for the things like that.
It was hard. I loved that job. I loved working for them. I mean, I also loved a lot of the people that work there. Like, I don't think not all of them are like this, but they all definitely lean towards that far leftist ideology, I would say. Yes. But like, I like a lot of those people I still care about. It sucked to watch everyone people I thought were my friends all of a sudden like just turn on me. It was quick. It was like all people just turned on me. And it was during the pandemic. I had started streaming at that time. I felt so fucking alone. Like I was like, this is my first cancellation, you know? I felt like I had no one. Like I couldn't talk to anyone about how I felt. Right. I felt like I was just like, and I was like, I'm losing my job. I'm losing everything. Like, and I just kind of spiraled for a minute of just like, fuck. But I knew in that moment that I couldn't publicly apologize. I didn't say anything wrong. And if I had publicly apologized, I was admitting that I had said something wrong, which I didn't do. And I actually contacted some of the girls. Like I found out some of the girls that reached out to this company. Like there were people I considered friends. Yeah. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, like, can we have a phone call? Like I consider you a friend. Like I would like to talk to you about this because I maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. Like I'm not like racist. Like they were saying I'm racist and stuff. And I was trying to be like, let's discuss. Like I want to talk about this. You guys are just like keyboard warring right now behind a keyboard. Nobody's allowing me to have like an actual conversation with them, like a video phone conversation. Nobody would let that happen. So yeah, it was a rough one.
Well, and I will say this too, like when it comes in the era of cancellation, those people definitely aren't your friends, obviously. Yeah. And it sucks at the time. But you know, this era it's been there's pluses and minuses, obviously. The negatives are pretty self-evident, but the pluses are, you know, you do find out who's worth a damn and who's not. Because these people that you might have considered friends at the time, the minute they go silent, the minute your entire livelihood is under attack, they're complicit as much as the people that are accusing you.
Well, that was the other thing is there was like nobody had my back. Well, there was a few people actually that like came out. It was very few and far between. And after that happened, a bunch of people like messaged me because after that happened, I got more vocal because I got mad.
Oh yeah.
Like I got mad. So like I got more vocal about my controversial opinions because I was like, fuck you guys, you fired me? Well, watch. Right. Like fuck you. Like, because that's kind of how I react, I think, which might not be the most mature thing to do, but I just
these days it's healthy.
And people started reaching out to me and were like, I can't say the things that you're saying because I don't want to get fired, but thank you for saying these things. But honestly, I just want to be like, fucking just say them.
Like, just fucking say it. Exactly.
We've talked a lot about that over the last few weeks. That
hold me back.
I 1,000%. The most interesting thing about this is that of the two of us, I am the more boisterous, and I am the most willing to give grace in this scenario.
Right.
I 1,000% understand because I am willing to do so. I am, however, lucky enough to be in a situation where I work for a company that is relatively conservative, and I am very confident. I know for a fact I will never be in a position where I will have to get vaccine or lose my job. You know, all these mandates that are happening are things I will never at this company ever have to worry about. That's just not a reality of my existence there. Even if we were over 100 employees, it's not something I would have to worry about. So I try and give a lot of understanding, and grace is the word that I've used. I'm not religious at all, but that's the word I've really tried to use, is try and give people grace of being scared and feeling like they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Even though I 1,000% think that they're wrong and that I think they should do it. I have some friends, my best friend, who is waiting to get fired. You know, he works for the federal government in the shipyard in town. He's waiting to get fired.
The homie?
My best friend. He's unwilling to be forced to do something, you know? Yeah. He's just American. Waiting to get fired. We also have other friends that stood up at first and then capitulated, and it's those people. I'm not going to judge you at the midpoint. We're our friends, so it's a very difficult position where I have had people question my choices as a parent to not get vaccinated and not, think my kid he's going to be 3 in January. And so I've had people literally say, how would you feel if your son died because you brought COVID home? So I've had people go.
Your son's more willing to kill you with COVID.
I brought COVID home from my work when a vaccinated person brought it in and infected 9 people, I think 4 of which who were vaccinated, 5 of which who were unvaccinated. And I brought it home, was homesick for. We had the fantasy draft and everything. I thought I just had a sinus infection, and then my whole family got sick over that time. So
that's how I learned my antibodies are fucking beast.
He came to the fantasy draft. We hugged. We everything. We shared joints.
No Delta for this guy.
No COVID. I don't think anybody at that draft. I shared a joint with everybody there, and no one got COVID.
Yep.
I had no symptoms both times.
Yeah.
None, zero. Like, I only found out the last time because I was managing the strip club at the time, and everyone got COVID. Like, everyone. And I was like around them, and I was getting tested multiple times a week just to be sure. And one day, Monday, I was negative. Thursday, I was positive. Yeah. I literally would have had no fucking clue if I didn't get tested. And I was just this asymptomatic bitch over here. And the first time I didn't have any either. So
it just depends. I know now. I actually know people who have died from COVID. And so it just depends. There are so many variables. No, it was a younger person. Definitely comorbidities. Yeah, and that's 1,000%. And that's we're very honest on this show, especially regarding COVID. Like I said, Colin had COVID last December.
Christmas.
On Christmas, he had COVID. I had it over Labor Day of this year. We've been as honest as possible from the very beginning about this show, or about COVID on this show. And so definitely comorbidities. I believe that he had heart attacks in the past, and so there are definitely things that play into this. But so it just depends. So that's the only reason I say that. But it also depends to the point that you didn't even know that you had it. I'm a relatively healthy person. I go to the gym 3 times a week, all this shit. I got super fucking sick. I was able to stay at home the whole time. My wife, who doesn't go to the gym, doesn't work out, nothing, she stayed home the whole time. I have a almost 3-year-old son. He was home the whole time. None of us had to be hospitalized, nothing. And he even, to your point, he was sick for a third of the time of me and my wife.
Yeah, he was, fuck you, old.
He had a temperature for 2 days and then was like, I don't want to be in the house anymore. Like, I'm tired of being stuck here with you fuckers. And that was the worst part, It's just that he's got to stay home for 10 days or whatever. But so that it was. But yeah, I've had people even question parenthood,
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm afraid that they're going to get to the point where it's like child abuse, or like being like, well, if you don't get vaccinated, you're abusing your child. Yes. Like that.
Don't give them any ideas now.
No, they already are kind of doing that in certain places, like saying that they're like domestic terrorists and shit.
Well, and in California, it's already mandated for
throwing these calling everyone a domestic terrorist all of a sudden. Like, I hate that.
We on the list.
Libertarians are domestic terrorists now. Fucking everyone's a fucking domestic terrorist. I'm like,
welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat every